everybody, I am back with another video, and today's video is going to be listing things that you should not say, absolutely should not say to someone suffering with infertility, and probably some things you probably could say instead. So I belong to a support group on Facebook called Hello Warrior, and it's run by a gal named Arden. I'm gonna butcher her last name. Oh my goodness, Arden Cartret. I think I said it right. She is great, and she has a blog, and the support group is kind of amazing. In the support group, I asked the ladies to pretty much give me things or let me know some things that they've been told while they're suffering through infertility. And so I'm going to read off some of these things and I might not be correct in some of the things as well, but kind of give my advice on what you can say instead of the stuff that I've heard and these ladies have heard. I want to say this, I know that there are people who they say what they're saying and they have great intentions and they mean well. But there are things that some people just don't know. They don't understand that it's just not a fun thing to hear sometimes. So the first thing that I have on here is you should look into adoption. Okay. So while adoption is an amazing thing, it is great and it's one of those wonderful acts of selfless love that you can do that it's great. It's just that sometimes when you are trying to create a life between you and your spouse, you don't want someone to tell you, oh yeah, just do adoption, because sometimes it's not just about, having a child in your house. Sometimes it's different. And if you don't feel like you're called to adoption, maybe that's not the thing that you need to do. But I will say this, I know for our family, adoption is definitely an option, and we more than likely will go that route at some point. But when you know someone is going through infertility, don't just be like, oh, we'll just do this, because 9 times out of 10 we thought about it already. 9 times out of 10 it's something that we didn't already went down that route and tried it, and or even thought about it and decided, hey, this is what we want to do first. Sometimes adoption is just not affordable for you to do. It's not always the thing that can be, done. There are other options that are more affordable, like embryo adoption, but that's still expensive. And so some people just can't afford to just adopt. And so to tell them, oh yeah, just go adopt is not that's not the stamp cure-all for infertility, because at the end of the day, I'm still thinking about how my body doesn't work the way it's supposed to. I'm still thinking about the fact that I could not provide a, child to my family, to my husband and things like that. Those are the things that go through my mind. And so to tell me, oh yeah, you can just adopt. It's just not how it works. Okay. The next thing is you're young. It'll happen. That's just not true. It's just not. Just because someone is young, the likelihood of them getting pregnant is definitely greater than someone who is older. But at the same time, you don't know what that person is dealing with. You don't know if they have some type of condition or something like that, or even if their spouse does, that could be preventing them from having a baby. And so telling them that they're young and that it'll happen, sometimes it's just not true. The next thing is Just relax, let it go, and it'll happen. I've heard this one on many occasions. And at one point, I believed it. I was just like, okay, I'll just relax. And my body will just do what it's supposed to after that. Which is just another non-truth. That doesn't magically, make your body do what it's supposed to do. Or, I don't know. Relaxing don't work. I done relaxed a few times. Just relax and let it happen. No. It worked out for me, so it'll work out for you. Not everyone is the same. Because sometimes people will say, why don't you try this? That's what got me. That's how I got pregnant and stuff. And so, like I said before, 9 times out of 10, a lot of us have tried the thing that you're saying to try. And it didn't work. And, it's just not how life works for a lot of people who are suffering from infertility. Bless God for the thing that worked for you. Great. That's amazing. But at the same time, telling someone that it worked for you may not be the thing that encourages them. It might actually discourage them because they might have tried it already and it didn't. I've had people really close to me say this to me. And while it's true, it's still hard to hear. Well, at least you can get pregnant. And usually someone has said this after, you've had a miscarriage or after you've had, a few miscarriages. If I'm talking about what my body does and stuff like that, I feel like it's okay for me to mention, well, I do know that I can get pregnant. But it's really sad and disheartening and discouraging when you hear someone say, well, at least you can get pregnant. But getting pregnant and staying pregnant is not the same. I would 100%, and some people might feel differently than I do, but I would 100% never ever be pregnant in my life than lose 5 babies. Absolutely. I would never want that I don't want that for anyone ever. Well, if you stop trying, then you'll get pregnant. Really? Is that how it works? If you got pregnant after your stopping of trying and stuff like that, then great for you. But it's not how it works for everyone. I have a friend who had been trying for 10 years. I have another friend who's finally pregnant after trying for 4 years. And there are things that had to happen before that, surgeries and, all this other stuff that you have to endure and go through before, they finally were pregnant and stuff like that. So it's different for so many different people. So how some people, they're just like, man, it was so hard to, struggle to get pregnant. It took us 3 months to get pregnant. Look. 3 months is not a long time. A year is still within normal. So to hear someone say, oh, it's such a struggle. 3 whole months. It is hard to hear something like that. Ladies and gentlemen who have children, okay, I'm going to just throw out this good old PSA. I said it on my Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me, there it is right there, Instagram, Journey to Baby Cooper. But I said this on my Instagram. You know how sometimes they're watching their kids and their kids are misbehaving or they're doing something they're not supposed to, or they're just wild and having fun, and mom looks at you and says, you want one of mine? You want to have one of my kids? You can take them home. You can just have this one. I've had that said to me more often than I don't even know. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that one. And that in itself is hurtful, because I really want to respond and say, absolutely, I will be at your door with a lawyer and adoption papers. Because if you just handed them out, I'll take them. Thank you. Hand them over. or if you hear someone say something like, just wait to have kids because you don't want to have to deal with this. I will absolutely deal with this. I will absolutely take your bad child and care for this baby. Like, don't stop offering me your kids. Please don't do that. Because the thing that you're not thinking about is that you have your child. You have this blessing, as bad as they might be at the moment. And I have to think about the fact that I had to bury my children. I had to like physically be a casket, I guess you can say. Like, my children died in my womb. So I don't have them. But you have your children. Love your children and stop offering them to people, please. Don't tell someone that maybe they're just not meant to be parents. That is the most hurtful thing that someone who has like the desire to be a mom or to, like be parents, like that is one of the cruelest things that someone could ever say to you. Well, I've heard that someone said something like, God didn't want them to be parents and stuff like that. Like, why would you say that to someone? Like, that's not okay. Like, how do you know what God wants just because they don't have a child right now? And especially like if they've had a miscarriage or anything like that, like, you gonna tell them that they're not meant to be parents because they don't have a child at the moment? They're clearly suffering through something and very well could need help in a way that you don't need help. Are you the infertile one or is he the infertile one? Like, who says, like, what? That's not okay. Like, don't. People. No. Is it your fault or his? Come on. So here's some things that you can do or say to someone who's suffering with infertility instead of all of those things that I just said prior to now. If you are pregnant and you just found out that you're pregnant and you're going to announce the pregnancy, one thing that you can do is you can let them know about your pregnancy, but let them know in a way where they can handle their emotions and what's going on with them privately, and they can, deal with all of the things that might come up with that, because they could very well be happy for you, but they can be sad for themselves as well, and so giving them the opportunity to deal with their emotions privately could be helpful for them. I had a friend of mine who did this for me. She found out that she was pregnant, and she actually called me and let me know before, because we were going to church together. She called me and let me know that she was pregnant, and she was like, I'm going to announce it at church, but I wanted to make sure that you were okay, and I wanted to let you know that I was pregnant before I told everyone else, because I didn't want you to feel any kind of way. I'm a little different when it comes to some people, because some people can be bitter when they hear a pregnancy announcement, or they can immediately get sad and stuff like that. I have not experienced that, bless God, because when we first had our miscarriages, I said, Lord, please don't let my heart get bitter. Give me the opportunity to be happy for someone else, because I would love for them to be happy for me when it's my turn. And so, the Lord definitely answered that prayer. So I'm okay in the moment when it comes to someone announcing their pregnancy and stuff. So I'm happy about that. But I will say I completely appreciated it when my friend called me and said, hey, this happened. I want to make sure you're good and that you're okay. And this is when I'm going to announce it to everyone else. So I was very happy and I appreciated it so much that she did that. So another thing that you can do, because this is coming up soon, you can remember them on Mother's Day and on Father's Day. For people who suffered a miscarriage, Mother's Day and Father's Day can be very hard for them. And so remembering them on Mother's Day is like one of the best things that you can do. It's hard on Mother's Day because, when you don't have children running around your house, you don't live the life of a mom. And so it's hard to just, remember that you are a mom. And so having that reminder on Mother's Day is very special and very nice. And dads need it too. People who've suffered through infertility and miscarriage and stuff, the dads suffer as well. They suffer differently, but they do. Another thing that you can do is be interested in what's going on with them. They may or may not be open to telling you everything that's going on, but being interested in what's happening in their life or what's going on with them might open a door for that. Ask them if they need anything. Sometimes it is hard to say, hey, I need this. Support in this area is very helpful when it comes to decisions on how to treat certain things and what's going on with them. Do some research. Read up on infertility and certain things that are going on with whatever friend that you might have. If they've told you specific things, do some research on those things. Be considerate when talking about those things with that friend. That is all I have for today. This might have seemed all over the place, but it is very helpful, and I hope that it was helpful to you guys. Stay tuned for my next video, okay?